I think we can all collectively agree that episode 10 of X-Men 97 is the best episode of the show. This episode was overwhelming, but in a good way. The creators only had 42 minutes left to wrap up the great show that they started, and they ate and left no crumbs. This show is easily going to rank as top 2 best animated shows to debut this year. I would have said it's going to be the best show to debut, but since Arcane season 2 is on the way, let me not get ahead of myself, guys. How they managed to continuously incorporate all the plot points, action scenes, new developments in this episode without anything feeling forced or random is really commendable. With the way this episode ended, I want to believe that both sides of Magneto and Professor Charles's fandoms were completely satisfied with the conclusion. As for me, a Magneto fan, I'm okay with how things ended, even though Charles was a bitch the whole time. But you know, I'll let it slide. Let's just see how it goes in the next season. I'll call this episode a league back episode because so many characters got their revenge. Rogue finally got her league back with Bastion to a one-on-one fight, and she utilized it very well. She started by reminding Bastion Gambit's name.
His name was Gambit. Remember it!
My bro was still trying to process what this lady is saying. Rogue then followed up with a hard punch, tossed him to the ground, picked him up by his hair, and then clapped his face to glory. Jean's transformation into the Phoenix was a surprise to me. I didn't see that coming. She used it to break off Bastion's control over the Prime Sentinels, reversing them back to humans, and then simultaneously ending Sinister. Jean got her league back with Sinister by stripping him of all the borrowed mutants' DNA and left him looking like a gremlin. Like, this guy is ugly as fuck. Imagine stealing different DNAs but still end up looking ugly as hell. Yeah, that is Sinister, guys. The fact that he asked Morph to be his mirror was hilarious. I just hate that they didn't entirely eliminate Sinister, because I'm sure this menace is going to be back again. This is one of the problems I have with superhero films. They don't get to stand on business and complete their mission. Someone like Sinister does not deserve any atom of sympathy, if you ask me. The battle with Bastion in the Asteroid M was intense. Bastion really held off the team impressively. Like, you could literally see how all the characters gave their all. I love this beam face-off between Cyclops and Bastion. Cyclops said, "Don't mess with my family." Bro went all out. Even Jubilee had her moments. Bastion is crazy for calling Jubilee's abilities 4th of July, but I love how Jubilee quickly clapped back to the roast. She must have hurt so much because she was quick with it.
What will you do, child? Slay me with the 4th of July?
Haven't heard that one before.
And this crack in her eyeglass was taking me out. Like, the fuck? I actually admire how Bastion did not give up on any of his beliefs. Bro stood on business and fought a good fight from beginning to the end. Like, he literally refused to be saved by the X-Men. Rather, he made a run for it and died with grace. That's if he's actually gone though. This episode also showcased the entirety of Bastion. He grew up believing Professor Charles rejected him as a boy, and that basically fueled his hatred for mutants and his drive to eliminate them or control them. But in reality, it was his mother who lied to him. Professor Charles actually did try to take him in as a boy, but Bastion's mom refused and deceived Bastion about it. But then Bastion surprised me with his inability to accept the truth or give into sympathy. Despite Storm revealing that it was his mother who rejected Professor Charles, he just did not want to be in any situation that will make him rethink or have a change of heart. Like, bro is stubborn as hell. Bastion's outfit changes in this episode were dope as fuck. Bro literally transformed into a full-fledged robotic machine and appeared even more lethal. Though his second outfit was at the cost of Cable's arm, but this winged look on him made him appear more commanding, and I like that they still maintain his pink aesthetics. The emotional impact this episode had was low-key triggering, guys. One moment that really stood out for me was when Magneto lost his memory of his family. Seeing him in such a vulnerable state was touching, and I genuinely felt for him when he started shivering, saying he was getting cold. Charles hijacking his mind brought back some of his forgotten memories, but I do appreciate how Charles was with him every step of the way. It showed how much Charles truly cared about Magneto, despite their obvious differences. Charles was practically begging Magneto to understand why he needed to turn the power back on, but Magneto remained steadfast in his belief, and Charles had to do it his own way. The fact that Charles could actually control his mind to bend to his will is actually outrageous. I mean, I'm well aware aware that Charles could do that, but it's quite frightening to realize how powerful mutants can be, given that Charles could control someone's mind to such an extent. Another emotional moment was when Cyclops and Jean said goodbye to Cable. It was a full circle moment for Cyclops because he was finally being the good dad he has always wanted to be for Cable. I also appreciated how Cable was reciprocal as well, finally seeing Jean as his mother and, you know, forgiving Cyclops. Cyclops showed Cable his real eyes, and I think this was the first time I'm seeing Cyclops' real eyes as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that makes the two of us, Cable. Morph finally got to tell Wolverine he loves him, although he did it in Jean's form, which was quite sad for him, but that was a moment as well. The plot of this episode was highly engaging, though it was a bit overwhelming at first because so much was happening simultaneously. I was only able to grasp it properly with a rewatch, but the multiple character cameos we got during the EMP restoration was exciting to see. I like how it keeps us aware that we're actually operating in the MCU. Seeing characters like Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Black Panther, Cloak and Dagger, Omega Red, and so many others were just amazing. This setup for season 2 is insane. After the asteroid M disappeared, the remaining team inside were all scattered through different timelines, and now Forge and Bishop are going to find them. It looks like we'll be getting more of Forge and Bishop team up in the next season from their conversations.
The X-Men are dead.
Luckily, this ain't our first time at the X-Men are dead rodeo.
That's a pretty solid premise for season 2, considering that we'll be exploring the different timelines with the team. But for some weird reasons, the only character that we didn't get to see again with the team in the different timelines is Storm. She seems to be the only one actually missing. They are clearly setting up Apocalypse as the main villain for the next season, because we saw him in the different timeline with the team and also in the present day with one of Gambit's card. Does that mean Gambit might make a comeback in season 2? I just can't wait, guys.
Oh dear.
If you made it to this level of the video, you are the real MVP. I really appreciate you watching my videos. Please kindly like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm out of here.